Hello dear chess friends of International Chess School. In this lecture I will show you a game played in 1963 between the Grandmasters Lajos Portish with the white pieces and Lev Pologaevsky with the black pieces. Lev Pologaevsky was a master of defense, and in this example he mixed the simplification, the defensive exchanges with the method of active defense. Let's take a look at the position. White has almost reached the ideal setup for his pieces, and it exerts a dangerous pressure on a1 h8 diagonal. Sooner or later he threatens to push e5, deflect the knight from f6, and then the focal point g7 will become vulnerable. During this time Black's dark square bishop is also pretty active, but his main problem is the light square bishop. There's no good position for this bishop, as the knight from c5 is dominating the possible outs for the bishop, and as a consequence also the rook from a8 isn't working. Realizing that, Black figured out a way to make the rook from a8 work from his initial position, and at the same time he wants to get rid of that powerful bishop from c3, which is creating troubles on the king side. At the same time, besides offering a good trade, Black launched the active defense, since White's pieces have reached the maximum commitment here. All White's pieces are ready to launch the decisive attack on the king side, and timing is a very important feature in active defense. So Black played knight b2. Not only that, it offers the trade for the dark square bishop, but at the same time Black is threatening something like knight a4 and another hidden idea, which is queen d3, aiming to get rid of White's powerful queen. We know that the queen is the coordinator in attack, while the endgame will be balanced. For this purpose, Black is ready to sacrifice a pawn. He will, after bishop b2, bishop takes b2, a takes b2, queen takes b2, bishop e6, he will remain with a pair of bishops, and at the same time he will gain precious activity for the rook along the a file. Remember that the rook was slightly passive in the initial position compared to his rival from e1. Now rook f2, in order to strengthen defense on the second rank, but notice that White is the one who has to worry now. Knight d7, rook d1, queen e7, pawn c3, with approximately an equal position. Of course, we are talking about the dynamic balance. White decided to avoid queen d3 and played king king h1, away from that pin. Bishop takes c5. It removes the most advanced piece in white's camp. This is an important element that has to be remembered before we start considering candidate moves. Removing the most advanced piece in opponent's camp, especially when we have lack of space, will help us to relieve pressure. Not only that removes the knight, but also releases the b6 square for the pawn. Now, in case of knight c5, b6, if knight b3, then black can play queen d3 immediately, or bishop a6 first and then queen d3. Bishop a6 is that kind of move which breaks coordination in white's camp. There's no useful position for rook f1. If rook g1, then the king will be strangely placed in the corner, and if rook f3, white's pieces will hamper each other. The bishop from g2 will be hampered by the rook, while rook f2 is not possible because of knight e3. So probably after b6, white should try e5 here, threatening the knight, and bishop takes c6. But after knight d5, knight e4, knight takes c3, queen takes c3, white keeps a small advantage, but after few minor pieces have disappeared from the board, black has chances to keep the balance. Notice that now the e6 square is available for the bishop, attacking the vulnerable pawn from a2. Instead of knight takes c5, which was better, white played b takes c5, queen d3, exchanges the queen, uses the undefended position of queen c2, and at the same time black is ready to take the initiative. For example, if queen takes d3, this will be a careless move, since it helps black to increase the potential of his knight. After knight takes d3, rook e3, knight b2 back, there's an annoying threat, knight f6, d5. But anyway, black is out of danger. After queen d3, white preferred rook f2, knight g4. Notice that advancing pawns will leave a lot of weak squares behind, and especially those squares are aimed by black's pieces. Rook d2, queen takes c2, rook takes c2. Black didn't manage to get rid of the powerful bishop, but he managed to exchange the queens, which reduced white's attacking potential dramatically. Knight e3, rook 1 e2, bishop e6. All black's pieces are very active. There's plenty of room for black's pieces now that the queens have been traded, and the dangerous knight from c5 have disappeared. Now knight e4 was slightly better, since knight takes c5, will give white the pair of bishops against the pair of knights, which fully compensates the absence of a pawn. But after bishop c4, h3, knight f6, knight f5, knight takes e5, knight takes g7, the idea is to deliver a discovered check. After king takes g7 with bishop takes f6, check, and some minor pieces are hanging here along the c file. But after bishop takes e2, knight takes e8, rook takes e8, bishop takes f6, knight takes e4, bishop takes, rook c3. Probably the outcome of the game will be a draw, as positions with different colored bishops have a big drawish tendency. Besides that, black has to create some space for his king. White missed this line with the knight d4. It has to be considered such a centralizing knight move. He played knight a5. I believe that white didn't adjust his mind setup in time. He still thought that his spatial superiority gives him the right to play for a win. Instead, he had to realize that in the absence of a kingside attack, he will have huge difficulties on the queen side, because there are a lot of weak squares available for the knight. Knight takes e5, h3, knight f6, bishop takes, of course not g takes f6, but rook takes a5, defending the knight from c5 at the same time. Probably this move was missed by white when he played knight a5. It is difficult to spot that the a5 square will be available for the rook later on. Bishop d4, knight a6, f5, and again black will defend actively. We know that when one of our pieces is attacked, we can use an acronym to find out the best move. We can use C from capture, I from interference. In this case, black can't interfere anything between the pawn and his bishop. He can move the bishop, but he can also exert an attack against a piece of same value or a higher value, and this is exactly what black did. Rook a4. So please remember this acronym, CIMA. CIMA, from capture, interference, move, or attack. Of course, check is included in this fourth category of attack. F takes e6, rook takes d4, e takes f7, king takes f7. The resulting endgame is clearly on black's favor. His pieces are more active, especially the knight is better than the bishop, and black has also, besides the extra pawn, a healthier pawn structure. Rook c3, rook e8, rook a3, rook d3, rook takes, king h2, king e6, e5, rook a3, bishop e4, g6, bishop c2, setting a trap. White wants to bring the bishop on b3, so knight c5, prophylaxis, defense against bishop e3, king g2, king e7. Now black renews the threat of rook takes a2, bishop d1, knight d3, bishop b3, knight c1, rook e3, and h6. There is no need to rush. With h6, black avoids bishop g8, which can follow after knight takes a2. Of course, previously white has to defend the rook, then he threatens bishop g8, but the pawn from a2 doesn't run anywhere. h4, knight takes b3, a takes b3, king e6, king f3, rook a5, king f4, rook b5, rook e4, c5, rook e3. White remained overextended. He has two weaknesses and a passive rook. As Samuel Reshevsky once said, the only good rook is a working rook, and the rook from b5 is working, is attacking, while the rook from e3 doesn't work. It has only defensive tasks. Rook b4, king f3, rook d4, g4, g5, and white resigned. So, summarizing, the side in attack, the side which is attacking, uses simplification or exchanges in order to remain with a decisive material advantage on the board, or to reach a favorable endgame, or by exchanging the opponent's most active pieces, the attacker wants to create a sort of domination. Here the method of restriction, restricting the opponent's pieces, is also used, while the defender will try to use defensive exchanges in order to reduce the offensive potential of the attacker. For this purpose, he has to exchange only the key elements, the key pieces in the opponent's camp. A hint, like I said, is to trade the queen, or a bishop which is attacking the castle. A second idea behind simplification is to neutralize his active play, and by threatening exchanges, the defender will force the opponent to break the coordination between his pieces. And not only, not in the last place, simplification is meant to lead the defender to a balanced position or a drawish endgame. I hope you enjoyed this example. Till our next lecture.